Welcome once again, students. This is Dr. Mercado speaking. I hope all of you are doing amazing. This is a continuation of Chapter 5, which deals with unemployment compensation. In this particular lecture, I am going to be covering problem 5-6A. Okay, this is Accounting 1329, Payroll and Business Tax Accounting. Okay, I'm going to dive right into the problem. This is a little bit more of a challenging problem. That's why I decided to cover it for you. It includes a lot of information, and that you need to be able to identify what is taxable, what is not taxable. Okay. If you have any questions on any of your homework problems, please feel free to reach out to me. Don't think that because we're taking classes online, you don't have any kind of support. I'm here to assist you. Just do make sure to please include the problem that you're working on, your attempted solution, step by step. That way I can review what you're doing and I can be able to provide guidance or see where you're going right or wrong and then provide necessary guidance. Okay, so let me move on. So this is problem 5-6. It says, on September, Manson Paint Corporation began operations in a state that requires new employers of one or more individuals to pay a state unemployment tax of 3.5% of the first $7,000 of wages paid to each employee. An analysis of the company's payroll for the year shows total wages paid of $177,610. Okay, this is the total wages. This is not the taxable amount. We need to figure out the taxable amount of wages so we can be able to multiply it times our tax rate. All they're telling you here is that we paid employees $177,610. Now, it says that the salaries of the president and the vice president of the company were $20,000 and $15,000. Why is that important? That's important because remember, we only pay taxes on the first $7,000 of earnings. So these two employees right here made above $7,000. Okay, so we need to make sure we make an adjustment for that. Okay. It says there was no other employees who received wages in excess of $7,000 except for the president and the vice president. Okay. Included in the total wages were $900 paid to a director who only attended director meetings during the year, $6,300 paid to the factory superintendent, and $2,000 in employee contributions to a cafeteria plan made on a pre-tax basis for both federal and state. In addition to the wages of $177,610, a payment of $2,430 was made to Anderson Accounting Company for an audit it performed on the company's books in December. We are being asked to compute the FUTA and Pseudo Tax. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out what our taxable wages are for FUTA and Pseudo Tax purposes. Okay, so let's start off with our total wages. Okay, I know that we had total wages of $177,610. That is provided to you in the problem. Okay, now from there we're going to be making some adjustments. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to deduct. Okay, the problem states that there was $900 paid to a director who only attended meetings. Okay, if I go back to the book, okay, this is the section 5.1c, employees FUTA. If we read down here, it says that for FUTA, wholly exempt services from coverage among those excluded are, and it gives you a list. Okay, if we look at number 2, it says that we are going to exclude any directors of corporations unless they perform services for corporations other than attending meetings. Okay, so because these directors should not be included, we have to exclude that from our earnings. Those how much is it? Those $900 paid to those directors are included in the $177,610. Well, I want to exclude those because that is not taxable. Payments to directors are not taxable. If we refer to the book, item number 2, directors of corporation should be excluded. Any payments made to directors of corporations need to be excluded. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to deduct that, and I'm going to deduct director salaries. Okay, what is me and not being able to type today? Here we go. And we're going to exclude, so we're going to subtract. Okay, anytime we have, let me go ahead and put that in. There we go. Okay, so we're going to subtract the director's salaries. Okay, now I'm also going to deduct the president's excess, okay? In excess of the 7,000, okay? Now, not present, precedent. What's wrong with me today, class? Precedents. Okay, here we go. Okay, so president's salary. So let's focus on the president. It says that the president made 20,000 bucks. Hoo-hoo, $20,000. Okay? Now, we know that we only pay taxes on the first $7,000 of earnings. Okay? So that means that $13,000 are not taxable. Okay? So what did I do again? Well, I got 20,000. That's how much he got paid. We are only going to pay taxes on the first 7,000. Okay? That means 13,000 that were included in those 20 are not taxable. So I'm going to deduct those 13,000. Okay? I'm also going to deduct the vice president's excess. Okay? Now the vice president made 15,000. I'm going to deduct the 7,000, that is our cap. So that means that out of the 15,000, 8,000 are not taxable. Okay? So that means that out of the $35,000 that were paid, 20,000 for the president, 15 for the vice president. That means 21,000 of that was not taxable. The 13 plus the 8. 21,000 out of the 45,000 is not taxable because that is above the $7,000 cap. Okay. Now, we're also going to deduct the problem states. Okay, so we already took care of the president. We already took care of the vice president. Okay, we took care of the director, the $900 payment to the director. Okay, it says $6,300 paid to the factory superintendent. That is irrelevant information. Okay, I don't care. The superintendent is an employee, so those $6,300 should be covered. So we don't have to do anything with that. Okay, and then it says $2,000 into the employee contributions to a cafeteria plan made on a pre-tax basis. Okay, now we go back to your book. Let me see what section, right here, non-taxable. Okay, if we go to section 5.1G, right here, number 8. Payments made by an employer under a plan established by the employer for health, accident, or life insurance or retirement benefits is non-taxable. Okay, non-taxable. So there's a big list. Okay, make sure that you read over it. You don't have to memorize it. It's a lot of information. Just make sure that you do know that it's out there. And if you need to figure out if it's taxable or not taxable, you locate the information here. So in this case, we're talking about payments made for health or any type of that nature. That's number 8. Okay. If you look at 5.1F, it tells you what's taxable. And then the following page, what is non-taxable. So make sure that you review that information. Okay. So I'm going to deduct the pre-tax cafeteria plan contribution. Okay, and the amount is $2,000. Okay, so I'm going to deduct all these items because those should not be included in my calculation. Okay, the payment to the director's salary should not be included. Anything above 7,000 should not be included. So I excluded the amount, the excess for both the president and the vice president. And then the pre-tax cafeteria plan should not be included as well. So that is basically all of the information that we have. If you see down here, it does mention that in addition to the wages of $177,610, a payment of $2,430 was made to Anderson Accounting Company. Now, Anderson Accounting Company is not our employee. Okay, it's just an entity that's taking care of our accounting for us. So that really does not apply. We don't have to pay any FUTA or SUTA for Anderson because Anderson is not my employee. Okay, it's a self-contractor. Okay, so let's go ahead and now we can figure out our actual taxable wages. Okay, and for your taxable wages, you're going to get your total wages minus all of these items. Okay, but I have Excel here, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to add them right there. Okay. No, dollar sign. Okay. So that is the amount of my taxable wages, 153,710. Okay. Now that I figured out my taxable wages, I can go ahead and I can do my net FUTA tax. Okay. And your net FUTA tax is going to be the 153,710 times my FUTA tax rate of 0.6%. Okay. And let's see what that gives us. 153,710 times 0.6%. That gives me 922.26. Okay. Okay. Very good. So all we do is we multiply the taxable wages times the tax rate of 0.6% for FUTA. The key here is to calculate your taxable wages. Okay. Make sure that you deduct the items that should not be included. Okay. Now we can calculate our pseudo tax. Okay. Now for my pseudo tax, okay, we're going to get the 153,710 and we are going to multiply that by my rate, and the rate given here was 3.5%. 3.5%. Okay. Let me put parentheses here. That way, this is the formula. Okay. Here we go. And then I'm going to get my calculator out. 153,710 times 3.5%. That'll give me 5,379.85. 5,379.85. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to, okay, there we go. Okay, so these are my two tax, FUTA and SUTA. 922.26 is for FUTA, and then for SUTA, 5,379.85. Okay, remember, always refer to your book. Okay, there's a lot of information included what's taxable, what's not taxable. Down here on section 51C, it talks about, it gives you a long list of people that are excluded from coverage under FUTA. Okay, directors being one of it, but it includes foreign student, government employees, independent contractors. A lot of information. Read it. Okay, don't memorize. Just know, you know what? I remember that I read something about people being excluded. Why are they being excluded? Well, here's the list why. Okay, these are the list of the people that are excluded for these for FUTA tax purposes. Okay, so make sure that you just know that it's available to you, and that way you can be able to refer to it. Okay, so it's not complicated, it's just lengthy, and it does have a lot of information. Like, for example, the payment to the factory superintendent, that's irrelevant. It's just to throw you off. We don't do anything with that. We don't do anything with the payment made to the accounting company. Self-contractors, so we don't have to worry. They're not our employees. So it's just a matter of dissecting all of the information and organizing it in a manner to where you know, okay, what needs to be included, what needs to be excluded. Okay, so that is basically it for problem 5-6A. Please make sure that you work your homework. Try working it during the week. That way, if you come across any issues, you get with me during the week and I can respond to you. Organize your time to make sure that you're able to complete your quiz and your homework. And that is basically it for this week's lecture. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. I hope all of you have a wonderful and safe rest of your week. And until next time, thank you.